The price of dynasty players is constantly fluctuating, and with that, we have the opportunity to sell high on so many players and to buy low. We're going to give you three of our biggest sell highs and three of our biggest buy lows in the dynasty landscape right now. Dak, who's our first buy?
Yeah, our first buy is going to be George Pickens. He's become the alpha wide receiver in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense since Deontay Johnson got traded to Carolina, and he got a quarterback upgrade this offseason with Russell Wilson. We were curious to see what the Steelers would do during the draft, if they were going to draft a receiver, if they signed someone during free agency. And the only guy they drafted was Roman Wilson, who is not really target competition for George Pickens. Going into this 2024 season, George Pickens is the clear number one in that offense and should take up a bunch of those targets that were vacated by Johnson. We're really excited about George Pickens and what he can do this season. Right now, keep trade cut, he's wide receiver 29. He's behind guys like Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, State Flowers, guys that really aren't that great compared to George Pickens. If I'm looking to buy Pickens and I own one of those guys, I'm going to sell them and see if I can get Pickens plus for that price. I think that's an absolute slam dunk of a move. We really like George Pickens. Like, he's one of the only guys this low on keep trade cut rankings that has wide receiver one alpha potential. He's already going to be the one in that offense, and he could really, really break out this year. He was wide receiver 30 last year, and I think he's going to at least be a top 18 wide receiver. He could really get higher. He could have such a good year, and you can get him at such a discount right now. So I'm definitely looking to buy George Pickens. Dalton, who's your buy?
My buy is going to be Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's going to see a price spike after they drafted Marvin Harrison, but I really haven't seen anything happen. He's still quarterback 11 on keep trade cut, and that's just not that great. He's behind like Jordan Love by quite a bit, and I would rather have Kyler over Love straight up. I think Kyler is much more proven than Jordan Love, and they're pretty similar in age too. It's not like it's a big difference in age there. Kyler's proven that he can be a quarterback one. He's done it over many seasons now, and he has elite rushing upside. That's something we'd love to see in our quarterbacks. He just got the best wide receiver he's ever going to play with. That's Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got Trey McBride, who's an up and coming tight end. We love that room, and it's only going to get better in the future. And like I said, he has a great rushing ceiling and floor, which is what we look for in our quarterbacks. He's basically guaranteed to be a quarterback one as long as he's playing football, which he's been relatively healthy throughout his career. Right now, what I'm looking to trade for Kyler is two firsts. I think is a pretty fair offer. No like 101s or anything, but just two random firsts. I'd play that. Or if you can like tier down for a player like Justin Herbert, I would do that in a heartbeat. Herbert's nice. We like him. He's a great NFL quarterback in real life, but Kyler just has much more of a better ceiling right now, and we want that ceiling that Kyler Murray possesses. Jeff, who's your buy?
Yeah, my buy is Rashee Rice. Recently been into some legal trouble, but we really don't think it's going to impact him that much in the long term future. Short term, he could get maybe 4 games, 8 games, 12 games this upcoming season, but we really like his talent, and we don't think that that's going to hinder him that much moving forward. With the possibility of suspension coming up and owners are panicking, this is where we like to buy low on Rashee Rice. Also, they just drafted Xavier Worthy in the first round. Owners could be afraid that he's going to cut into Rice's targets a lot, that maybe Rice could be overshadowed if Worthy comes out and is fantastic through the first couple of weeks that Rashee Rice is suspended. However, we think that Rashee Rice is a better player. We think that he's going to be the alpha receiver there once Kelsey retires, and we really like him moving forward to play with Patrick Mahomes for the near future. I would buy Rashee Rice for any future first. Other wide receivers such as Deebo Samuel, Jaden Reed, some of those late round rookies in this year's draft, such as Lad McConkey or Worthy himself. Any of those kind of trades where you could either tier up or tier down, something where you get the right compensation. We like Rashee Rice. Go buy him in your leagues. Dak, who do you have up as your first sell?
So our first sell is going to be Kenneth Walker. We've talked about him in a previous buy low, sell high. We were talking about him as a sell high, and we still believe that he's a sell high. They obviously weren't going to draft any running backs in that offense since they drafted Charbonnet and Zach around last year's draft, but we're still looking to sell him. He's running back 10 right now in keep trade cut. Our general philosophy with running backs in general is outside of like the top 4 or 5 guys, we want to sell all of them, and that is definitely true of Kenneth Walker. He's a guy that really doesn't have much upside. A lot of his points have been based off of touchdowns. He scored a bunch of touchdowns, and obviously those fluctuate from year to year. So you can expect touchdown regression to hit him eventually. He also doesn't really catch the football well, only like 30 catches his first year and then 30 catches his second year. So he's not a threat in PPR formats as well. We're looking to sell him. I know it's probably unreasonable, but Keep Trade Cut still says you can get a late first for him. If you're a Kenneth Walker owner and you're getting offered a late first, you do that right away. but more likely you can get an early second, mid-second for him. You can maybe get other players if you're looking across tiers, get like a wide receiver. But we don't really want Kenneth Walker on our team. He's only getting older, and he's in a capped offense with Charbonnet there. They're going to give him touches, and there's just so many other options in that offense in terms of wide receiver. And Seattle is not that great of an offense to begin with, thanks to Geno Smith. He's an all-right quarterback. They're not going to be scoring a ton of points in that offense, so we just want to move on from Kenneth Walker and invest our assets elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that was really well put. I think the biggest thing with Kenneth Walker is he just has a cap ceiling. He's so capped. I think, what would you say is like a good season for Kenneth Walker? Like 15 points a game? And like,
That's probably the highest I think he can get.
yeah, like that would be a good season. And like, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for Saquon Barkley, who can maybe get 20, right? We're looking for that Kyron Williams year last year. And Kenneth Walker's just not going to get there.
His receiving upside is just not there.
The upside in general, he's just not that good. So my sell is going to be Jordan Addison. Fine player in real life. We do like him. However, there's a lot of things going against Jordan Addison, right? First and foremost, he's obviously behind the best wide receiver in all of football, Justin Jefferson, and he's going to be behind him for a long, long time. That obviously caps his upside quite significantly. The next biggest thing is that he lost Kirk Cousins, who was a top 3 quarterback that you want throwing to your receivers in terms of fantasy production. He's getting replaced with J.J. McCarthy, who might be good. We don't really know. We think J.J. was going to be successful. We hope he is, but there's no guarantee he's going to be even close to Kirk Cousins' level of production, and that's going to hurt Addison quite a bit. Last year he was an okay wide receiver. He had a couple really big weeks. He did score 10 touchdowns, which is going to inflate his fantasy score quite a bit. Like we said with Kenneth Walker, we can expect that to regress quite a bit. 10 touchdowns is not sustainable for a wide receiver too, especially. So, Addison, he's just a little overvalued right now. Right now, he's wide receiver 18 on Keep Trade Cut, and that's just too high for our liking. He's ahead of players like DJ Moore and T. Higgins, which that's just egregious in my opinion. We'll happily sell him for DJ Moore plus, T. Higgins plus. If you can get straight up, we'd do that too. If you can get like a good projected first next year, I'd also be okay with that, just because the upside with Addison just isn't really there. His absolute capped upside is like Devontae Smith, which is nice. We like Devontae Smith a lot, but he's not a wide receiver 1 in Dynasty just because he has A.J. Brown in front of him, just like Addison's going to have Justin Jefferson in front of him. Jeff, who's our last sell?
So our last sell is going to be Brock Purdy. Purdy is coming off a fantastic season in terms of fantasy production. He had Ayuk, he had Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey. He had everything working for him. However, those guys all are getting a year older. Ayuk, Samuel, there's a lot of trade rumors involving them. Lord knows what's going to happen with those guys. They did draft Ricky Pearsall in the first round, which will help Purdy a bit, but we don't really like him as a prospect. A lot of prospect evaluators didn't think that he was going to be a first-round pick. So that's not really going to boost him enough for us to move him out of our sell category. Also, it's not that we think that there's anything that's going to be working against Purdy this year. It's more that we think that he's overpriced in the Dynasty landscape. We think that he's already hit what his ceiling will be in terms of points per game. Last year, we really can't see him getting any better than that in terms of fantasy production itself. He's ranked ahead of quarterbacks in keep trade cuts such as Dak Prescott, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May. We like all these guys over Brock Purdy. If you could get anything on top of those guys to get rid of Brock Purdy, I would do that. Also, as mentioned in the previous trade, if you could get it done straight up, I would also do that. Simply, we do not like Purdy's upside to go above what he's been. This is what we think he's going to be his whole career. Move on from Brock Purdy.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know if you made any of these trades in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.